I think we're live. Let's make
Interesting.
sure. I think let's just make sure that the YouTube could hear us. Hold up. Hold up. Um.
I haven't looked us up on YouTube in 12 months.
Okay, Light and Hunt is currently live. Yep, it works. Wow.
Damn.
That that is crazy. Me and Hancho are back for another episode of Light and Hunch after a year and 6 months. I'm kidding. I don't know how long it was, but
Last summer. That's all I'd be
it
saying.
was
Last
last summer. Actually, we started Light and Hunch this time last year,
summer. Hmm.
and then I think it was when Z was gonna start going to college. We just stopped doing the show completely. It was mostly my fault, but what can we say?
As
Z,
long as you take responsibility.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But we're back, and we're back, and we're gonna talk some basketball. But before we start, episode 12. This is episode 13, so I gotta get used to this. But episode 12, I said a couple things on that episode. One, episode 12 and episode 11. One, in episode 11, we had OG in the building. That's
Hmm. Chilltown.
Showtown Hoops, right? And he didn't believe that the Bucks could beat the Suns. Also, Z didn't believe that the Bucks could beat the Suns. I was the only one rooting for the Bucks to beat the Suns. And I said it was gonna be Bucks in six, and Giannis beat the Suns in six. Not only did I say that, the last episode we were talking about who was better, Giannis or Kevin Durant.
Hmm.
Now, that is not a concrete that we could say that I was right, but as
Right.
of right now,
Right. Okay. Let's just double down here. Let's just double down here. So that episode with Chilltown was 10 months ago,
uh huh,
right?
yep,
In that time span, I I don't remember much of that episode other than a couple of clips.
hmm,
But if we did probably, I mean, I know I definitely was rooting for the Suns in the finals, specifically mainly out of emotion for wanting CP to win his first ring.
hmm.
Um, but in time, here's the thing: I realized something.
Yeah, it's okay to be wrong. See,
Hey,
it's
I'm gonna get your ass. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get your ass. Here's what I realized: how can you hate Giannis, bro? Just genuinely, how? How does anybody hate Giannis Antetokounmpo? My man is literally like, what is Giannis? What, 6'10", 6'11"?
6'10", 6'11", freak of nature. I
Freak of
mean,
nature. I will say this until, I mean, he's what, 27 right now.
hmm,
Giannis literally is like Shaq reincarnated into our generation with uh 6'10", and 7'3" wingspan, whatever, defensively elite,
yep,
offensively unstoppable. I mean, when he
hmm.
drops his shoulder, it's like, what are you gonna
Good
do?
luck. Good luck. Hey, you know what's funny? We're gonna do something before we talk about this. Now that we're in the subject with Milwaukee,
Uh-huh.
playing and stuff. What was I gonna say? Giannis, and this is my prediction. I think Giannis is gonna have a LeBron s run in the East. I don't think no one could stop the Bucks for the next. As of right now, I don't see it out. Philadelphia was the team that I was scared of when the whole trade thing happened. We'll talk about
I wasn't.
Philadelphia later. Uh, Durant. I don't know what's going on over there in Brooklyn. I don't even know what's gonna happen with Kyrie. We could talk about that later.
Right?
But as of right now, there's no team that I could see. Only the Celtics if they get better through over time. But right now, I don't see any team stopping Giannis. And if
The
that's the case, I see Giannis in the NBA Finals for a very, very long time.
the team for me, the way I look at the Eastern Conference and the fact that the Eastern Conference is finally back to kind of a battle. And I'm
Hmm.
talking, and it hadn't been that way since maybe low key LeBron back in Miami, like back
Yep.
then when it was those Boston Celtics that he was going up against D Rose, the Chicago Bulls, the Knicks with Carmelo. Like that was when the East was really up for grabs. In the years where LeBron went back to Cleveland, it was like, well, LeBron was clearly the best player in the world, having Kyrie by his side. No, I remember thinking back then in middle school, like no team could compete. Remember when Atlanta won 60 games, and I
Yep.
was like, that's so cute. They're not. They're literally when they run into Cleveland, they're gonna get smacked. And if I'm not mistaken, they got swept. or a gentleman sweep. I don't know. They got embarrassed. I mean, it wasn't a
It was pretty
competition.
bad. It was
Pretty
pretty
sure they
bad.
got swept. But the point is that now the Eastern Conference is finally back to that competitive balance that the Western Conference has had seemingly for like 30 years. But excluding the KD Warrior years, but whatever. That's that competitive balance that we like to see. But I think that the two best teams in the East are the Bucks and the Celtics, like by far.
What about the Heat?
The Heat are an interesting story. The Heat are an interesting story. I love Miami. I love Jimmy in Miami. I think he is a perfect fit for Jimmy, him and Bam. My only issue is Jimmy is the most consistent Miami Heat player throughout these playoffs.
That's true. That's true. Right now, I don't see when I see the Heat versus Philly game, I can count on Jimmy Butler, but the thing is, that's true. They don't have a consistent second option, but because they have so many options, there's always someone stepping up. So it's not like it's not like, for example, and we'll talk about Dallas in a bit. It's not like it's Luka Doncic and all right, let's see if Jalen Brunson is gonna ball out to go beat Phoenix. It's more of like Jimmy Butler but Victor Oladipo could go crazy. Bam could go crazy. Tyler Hero could go crazy. So it's like they got so many options in that squad that yes, it could be inconsistent, but as long as Jimmy Butler is consistent, one of those three is bound to have a good game. So no, that team that team is tough, and I wouldn't be mine if we see Miami and Dallas in the NBA Finals. So it's
wait, what? What
but
did you just
before we get there, we gotta talk about we gotta talk about shout out to Straight Shoot, they're a wrestling podcast, and they do this thing called Guess Who, and they do it with their wrestlers, right? So
That's cool.
I decided to incorporate that over here. Now Z caught you off guard with this one, but you have 60 seconds. All right?
60 seconds.
You got 60 seconds to guess the player I have. All right?
Oh,
you can
God.
ask questions throughout the 60 seconds. You ask me what team they played for, what type of position, or actually, you can't tell me what type. I mean, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Just go off with the questions the first time doing this, right?
All right.
Ask how many questions you need, and then you have to guess the player, and you only have 60 seconds. And when you have 10 seconds, I'll let you know. All right? Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Does he play in the Eastern Conference?
No.
So he plays in the Western Conference.
Wait, let me restart.
Oh my God.
It could be retired or
God.
Yeah. Yes, but I forgot to tell you that. All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Is he a current player?
No.
Damn. Did he play in the 90s?
Yes.
Oh God. Has he won a championship?
Yes.
Has he won an MVP?
No.
Has he won a Finals MVP?
No.
Okay. Was he an All-Star?
No.
Oh my God. Did he play in the East?
No.
He played in the West.
Yes.
Okay. Did his career span more than 10 years?
Yes.
Okay. And he was never an All-Star. Okay. Is it oh God. Did he play for the Lakers? That's your favorite team.
Yes.
Of course
Yes.
And he played in the 90s. Is it Vlade Divac?
No.
Damn. Okay. How many seconds do I have?
10 seconds.
Of course. And Nick Van Exel.
No.
All
right, you got one more question and then one final guess.
Okay. All right. We know the Lakers. It wasn't Nick Van Exel. It wasn't Vlade Divac. Did he play with Shaq and Kobe?
Yes.
Robert Horry.
No.
Oh my God, no.
It was Derek Fisher.
Oh my God, that was my next guess. Oh my God, that bald-headed mother. Oh.
It was Derek Fisher. But we're gonna do this every single week, so you're 0-1. Hopefully next week you got it. But now let's talk basketball for real. Let's talk about the damn Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. What the hell happened last night? You're the Cape Crusader for the Golden State Warriors.
I ain't no Cape Crusader. I'm the Cape Crusader for some good-ass NBA playoff basketball. And that is exactly what this series is. Dude, you mean to tell me that in this series, this is the best playoff series by far this year, a close second and or one that I could, not be mad at is Boston and Milwaukee. But with the Warriors and the Grizzlies, there's so much context here, and each game has given us a different experience. Game 1, for example, Klay Thompson misses 2 fucking back-to-back free throws, right? Never, ever seen it before. In the clutch, Klay ends up saying, fuck those free throws, because we still got the W, which he's right?
Yeah.
Game 2, Ja misses the game winner by this much. Pretty much, right?
Yep.
And oh wait, did they win game 2 or did they win game 3?
They won game. They lost.
They won game.
The Warriors won game 1.
Grizzlies
No,
won game 2.
I think it was the Grizzlies won game 1. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Had too many incredible
Yeah.
games.
Like, yeah.
Okay. Well, in the series, let's just go off of that notion, right? There's been Klay missing free throws, the Warriors still winning. Ja missing layups that he, low key could have made, but it's fine. Hitting the gritty, getting the Warriors riled up. Then we get to game 3. Dillon Brooks immediately starts off by fouling Gary Payton, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gary Payton loses his freaking elbow. Whatever. He's gone. Brooks gets suspended. Mind you, Draymond gets suspended in game 1, and the Warriors still get it done, right? Dillon Brooks goes away. Here's the thing. I'm going to get to Dillon Brooks in a second. Dillon Brooks is probably the most overrated player in the series. I'm so sorry, because I remember last year when everybody was like, Dillon Brooks locks up Steph Curry. Dillon Brooks plays like, and mind you, Dillon Brooks is a good fit for the team because of his defense and everything like that. But he be taking some of the most dumbest shots. He probably takes the dumbest shots on the team. And I'm talking like contested as if he thinks that he is either Steph, Klay, or Jordan Poole. Hell, Andrew Wiggins, I'd be better with him taking those shots than Dillon Brooks. And you're looking around at this Grizzlies team, their foundation, their culture, their attitude, their swag, I love it. Ja is the face of the franchise. But the fact that the team can still go out there and 40-ball the Warriors without Ja, the game after, or 2 games after the Warriors 30-balled them with Ja, this series is incredible. It's a damn shame that it's going to end in 6 because when Klay walks into that building, oh my God, when Klay walks into that building in the Chase Center, back home, after an embarrassing loss like this, after Steph said, whoop that trick, it's over.
Can we talk about Steph Curry real quick though? Because I don't know what it is, and I love Steph. Last year in TikTok I was going crazy for Steph, calling him the best in the world, yada yada yada. Now that I'm looking at Steph Curry, watching these games, first of all, there's no Ja Morant, right? And I get it. The Grizzlies play great without him either way, so it was bound to still be a good game. I get all that. But the fact that Steph Curry is so-called undoubtedly a top 5 player in the NBA, apparently, right? He is a top 5 player in the NBA. And with all that, when I see him play basketball, when I see him playing the Golden State Warriors, I don't see the same Steph Curry I saw anytime throughout the years that I've been watching him. This year, Steph Curry, for me, he's slowing down a little bit when it comes. He's still a great shooter. I'm not taking that up. The greatest, yeah, exactly. I'm not debating that. But what I'm debating is Steph Curry being number 1 of that point guard list as of right now. Because you look at Steph, this game that he drops 19, 18, then he has a 30 bomb, then another 19-point game in the Golden State Warriors. It's like if you're a score first point guard, you're so-called the best point guard in the game. Why aren't you taking over? And especially what the hell happened yesterday? Yesterday, he only had 19 points. And Steph Curry is the best point guard in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He's not showing up. Last series, he wasn't showing. He's not showing up as the same Steph Curry I know in the playoffs. Don't look at me like that. You know this is true. You cannot dictate that. You can't just see Steph Curry and be like, yo, Steph right now is going crazy. He is not. Right now, we got to thank God Jordan Poole exists. He had an off night last game. He had 3 points, but I don't expect that. Was it 3 points he had, Jordan Poole?
He had 3. I remember he had 3 points at halftime. I turned the game off by the end of the third quarter. By the midway point of the third quarter.
Well, he stayed with 3 points. He stayed like that the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the most important player on that team is not Steph. His name is either Draymond Green or Jordan Poole. Because of right now, I feel like they could win without Steph.
Here's slow your roll there, jabroni. No. Draymond is probably the most valuable in terms of how to and in terms of the offensive flow and the defensive flow on both sides of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I've noticed with people and Steph is that people just the reason that people are saying things like you're saying is literally because we've seen Steph at
Yep.
god tier levels, right?
And he's declining.
He's not. He's averaging 27, uh, 4 and 6 on
Mm-hmm.
46% shooting. The 3-point shooting's 36%, but that's not even astonishing. The only reason it's astonishing is because it's Steph Curry. You look back at the last 2 years he made the playoffs, 2019, 2018, he was shooting 40% in 2018, 38% in 2019. So he's only went down a couple in terms of 3-point percentage. His production is still there. He was, I mean, literally, he was the closer. He had 14 points in what was it, the last game at home
Yeah.
in Chase
Mm-hmm.
Center. 14 points in the fourth quarter
Without Ja,
alone.
but yeah.
Took over. Took over because everybody else couldn't do it. Steph Curry is still that guy. He's had so many moments, especially when you look back at the Nuggets series and you look back now. His numbers are, I mean, he's leading the team in scoring, obviously, because he's the
Mm-hmm.
forefront. If they don't have that scoring, then who knows? It may go to Jordan Poole, possibly. But Jordan Poole's been, if anything, Jordan Poole's been looking a little bit shaky in this series. Last night, the man was literally had so many open looks that he would hesitate and pass up. Whereas in the regular season, Jordan Poole would let that thing fly. Even in some
Mm-hmm.
games in the Nuggets series, he would let it fly. Jordan Poole's been irritating me. I love his game. Love it. He is the future of the franchise. But when he's playing out there hesitant, that's the problem. Clay is playing out there impulsively. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but he hasn't played in 2 years. Steph is finally at a moment in his career where he can just sit back and let the game come to him. You notice Steph doesn't really get irritated a lot anymore. Like 26, he's not chucking mouthpieces at people. Like
Mm-hmm.
he plays this cool, collected game. And I think that Steph doesn't really particularly care to go out there and drop those incredible numbers because you look at it, he had a terrible shooting slump this season because he was trying to go for the 3-point record, but he was shooting so much. After he broke it, he started to just take a little bit more aware and be a little bit more aware to his shot selection, which is totally fine. The Warriors are in an interesting boat right now. The leader of them, you can look at Draymond or you can look at Steph. For me, Draymond is bringing that energy. Steph is bringing his
But
energy in
that's
his
the
own
you
way.
see that as a point guard, and you don't even know if Steph is the leader of a like. When I look at a point guard, for me last year, Steph Curry was insane.
Right.
There's nothing there's nothing I could say about last year. Last year, when from the beginning to the end, when they were triple teaming him at like the Memphis Grizzlies were literally throwing
Triple teaming him at half court.
three bodies. Steph was passing the ball, and he was hoping Andrew Wiggins could carry the game and win. Right? That was
Yeah.
literally what was going on. But it didn't. They lost and whatever. Also, there was something called LeBron James with I can't say that word, but you know what I mean. The
Yeah, you
LeBron
can.
James 3. But
The
when I look at
that is still the
yeah,
all-time funniest thing I've ever heard because it's like it's perfect. It's so perfect. The
it's
LaFucky thing.
the way is that way he did it too. Anyways, that's not even the point. Steph Curry from last year to this year, for me, he has been slowing down. Like I look at Steph Curry and the fact that you said, "Oh well, the leader could be Draymond Green as well," and it's like, okay, but why is it that Steph Curry, the score first point guard, right? Well, not in quotations. I mean, he is a score first point guard. The
Right.
score first point guard, right, is not only not the most valuable player on this team. It's obviously Draymond Green, and your point guard is supposed to be the man that runs the show. So when I'm looking at Steph, yes, he offensively they have to double team him. If not, he's gonna kill him. I
Right.
get it. But when I look, and I'm not trying to push this agenda just yet because I need a couple more games. But Luka Doncic
Oh my God, I knew it.
is taking like yes, Curry has the number one point guard in the game right now, in not a lot, but he's still holding it. Luka Doncic is proving why he is the future of being the best point guard in the NBA. And as of right now, Luka is only getting better. Steph Curry is only getting older. Luka Doncic is going up. Steph Curry is going down. And I feel like we're in the middle of them interacting to fighting for that number one spot as of right now. Luka Doncic, when I look at him in the Dallas Mavericks, not only is he the best scorer on that team, He is the best playmaker. Defensively, that is a little shaky still. I can't defend Luka there, right? There's sometimes that they're literally isoing Luka. But besides that, Luka Doncic is running the show, and Luka Doncic is the most important player in the Dallas Mavericks. It's like if Russell Westbrook brought OKC to the second round. That is
If
something that Luka Doncic is doing right now, without a real second option, because Jalen Brunson is playing, but he's not a consistent second option that you could count on. And Luka Doncic is taking the people that went to the NBA Finals to they're about to go to 6 games, and who knows in that if they go to Dallas and they push it to 7 games. I
right.
don't think that's something that Steph Curry could do if he was in the same position as Luka Doncic.
I mean, the way I look at the Mavericks is they were the 4th seed this year.
Uh
Like
huh.
people keep, and every year in the playoffs when Luka loses, it's Luka has no help. Luka has a good team around him this time.
Yes.
There isn't even and it's crazy the jump that they had from last year.
Hmm.
They got a new team, new
Yep.
backup for Luka, a
New
coach
coach.
that is
Yep.
perfect for Luka,
Hmm.
absolutely perfect for Luka. So Luka has the help that he needs. Now it's all about closing out
Okay.
games.
What do you mean the help that he needs?
He's
Like,
got Jalen Brunson. He's got Reggie Bullock. He's got Dorian Finney-Smith. He's got Spencer Dinwiddie off the bench, who has been literally resurrected his career from when he went from Washington to Dallas as the perfect backup option for Luka Doncic, because Spencer Dinwiddie plays the game the right way for a bench for off the bench point guard. It's
so
just that simple.
so it's the
And you can
Dallas.
see they mop the floor with the freaking Western Conference champions
So
by everybody striking.
so it's a Dallas Mavericks a championship contender then to you?
Do you think they're a championship contender because
No.
they're a round away from the Western Conference Finals?
I mean, they're
If
not
they
a champ.
knock out the Suns,
The team that, first of all, the reason they are in this predicament right now about to knock off the Suns, and I mean, hopefully they do, because Game 6 is tonight, and I hope that the Dallas Mavericks do win to force a Game 7.
right?
Anyways, um, the reason they're in this predicament right now is not because of the surrounding cast. It's because Luka Doncic is by far the best player in that series, and history has repeated itself. When you have the best player in the series, you are more likely to win that series, or at least compete. You look like players like LeBron James against the Golden State Warriors. Although they were basically sweeps or a 5 game series, undoubtedly LeBron James was trying his best to beat the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant, and at some points during those games, they were still competitive. When I look at Luka Doncic against the Phoenix Suns, it's the same damn story. The reason they are in a 6 game series right now is not because of Jalen Brunson, is not because of Jason Kidd, Reggie Bullock, or a Spencer Dinwiddie. It's because of Luka. If
Okay,
Luka wasn't there, this
dude.
would be a sweep
So when Luka came back, if I'm not mistaken, the
against the
Mavericks
Jazz.
lost. The Mavericks. No, I'm
Against
talking
the
about
Jazz.
what was it? Game 2.
Against the
I mean,
Jazz.
I'm looking at the. I'm literally sitting here looking at the freaking box scores all throughout the first 5 games. Luka's been there and he's done his own, right? He dropped
Uh huh.
45 in game 1. They lose
Yep.
by 7, and
Yep.
then we go to game 2. Luka drops 35. They lose by 20. And then we go
Mhm.
to game 3. The Mavericks get the W. Jalen Brunson had 28, and Luka had
Yep.
13 rebounds. That's great. And then you look at game 4. The Mavericks get it done again. D Book dropped 35 points, and the Mavericks just were firing on all cylinders
Yep.
that night. That was
Mhm.
an incredible game. And then we got game 5. They get absolutely demolished and embarrassed and lose by 30. And Luka and Devin Booker are a new rivalry, apparently. But
Yeah.
whatever.
That's
The,
it's a crazy rivalry because
the
Devin
point
Booker
is,
is the
that
fastest player I know, but
yeah, the point is that when I look at the team, right? Luka's out there averaging 32, 10, and 7. Those
mhm.
are incredible numbers. By far, like you said, the best player in the series. But he's got a little bit of backup that he hasn't had in a while. Jalen Brunson's averaging 18. Dorian Finney-Smith is averaging 13 on great shooting from three-point range, 47% from the three-point line. The point of the matter is the Mavericks have not – you could say that they don't have the best amount of backup. I guess if you want to say that, that's fine. But they have something that can compete with the Western Conference champions.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
that's
So I'm
Luka
tired of
Doncic.
when I just want to know how long we're going to push the Luka narrative of we know he's good. We know he's good. But I'm tired of saying that a dude has no help when anything can happen. As we can tell from these playoffs, anything can happen in a playoff
When
game.
you Okay, so let's just look at it right now. From all the teams that are in the playoffs right now, right? Devin Booker, who does he have behind him? Chris Paul,
Chris Paul.
right? Steph Curry, who does he have? Draymond, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, right?
Mhm.
We got them. Giannis, who does he have right now? Drew Holiday. Chris Middleton is on the way, right?
Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis. Jason Tatum, who does he have right now? Jaylen Brown.
So whoever
Al
really wants to show up
Horford,
that day.
right? Yeah, like or sometimes Jason Tatum doesn't even show up, and it's Jaylen Brown and Horford showing up
Big
and taking
Al.
over.
Big Al.
Big Al, and then you look at the Miami Heat. Who do they have? They have Jimmy Butler. They got Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Victor Oladipo coming off the bench. You look at Philadelphia. Who does Joel Embiid have? A washed James Harden. We'll talk about that in the future. But when he is playing, he is balling. Well, now when I look at Luka Doncic, what am I gonna say? After all those names that I've named, right? I say Jalen Brunson is the second option for the Dallas Mavericks. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing, because this is like you've named every single game, and you are right, by the way, but there's only a consistent factor on all those games for the Dallas Mavericks, and his name is Luka. So
Right.
my point is that yes, he has more help than he had before. I'm with you, Z, but it's still not enough
Well,
because he's
here's my
still.
thing. Here's my thing. So when I look at a playoff series like this, there's a couple of answers that you have to the questions that you're throwing out, right? It's simple. Who's the better team? Let's start there. The
Phoenix.
Suns or the Mavericks? The Suns, right? They're the better team with just and so when you have the better team in
With a
a
better
playoff
squad.
series, like you
Hmm.
said, we stretch out. So you better hope that your team is being able to play these games and still be consistent. But when I'm looking at this series, so people are thinking that the Suns are going to lose to the Mavericks, right? They were like, when
Hmm.
Luka comes back, it's wraps, whatever. It's not. If you don't, if you have Luka has a good team around him. He has a good team around him. The Suns are a great team. There's a difference. The Suns are a playoff experienced team as well. Chris Paul definitely. Devin Booker has not shied away from the playoffs since he made it last year. He's averaging 27 this series on 48% shooting, 50% shooting from the 3-point line, and he's scoring the most points on his team. He's the only player on his team to average over 20, right? Same with Luka, but he's averaging 35, 32? Yeah, 32. So the point of the matter is you have these two teams, and it's going to be a battle of which team shows up when it matters. So we're approaching game 6. We remember what happened in game 6 in the finals last year for the Suns, right? One person showed up. I believe it was
Hmm.
Chris Paul.
Yeah.
The point of the matter is Luka Doncic is going to always be a special player. Over the course of his career, if he decides to stay in Dallas, which he should, the Mavericks front office, Mark Cuban and all of them, need to surround him with players that I guess Luka's going to want to strive for more. But Jalen Brunson has been great. He was great when Luka was out in the first round. And honestly, we don't
And
talk about that enough. Jalen Brunson carried the Mavericks while Luka was out. He came back
hmm
and Luka just took right back over. Now
Yeah.
Jalen's playing his role, and he's doing it. He's doing it a little bit worse, but I mean, sometimes that just happens. You saw when Jordan Poole was averaging 23 as a starter
hmm
and like 16 off the bench, shooting worse numbers than he did when it's an adaptive thing. That's the
Yeah, yeah.
nature of the playoffs.
It still doesn't change the fact that he doesn't have a consistent second option as of
Well, I
right now.
mean, I don't know. I just see a lot of Luca fans keep throwing that in our face every year. Luca has no help. Luca has no help. Get Luca some help.
Well, no, the battle we've had with people, and not you, but other people in media that just can't stand Luca,
Right.
is that he can't pass the first round.
Mhm.
And now this year he has passed the first round. I
Right.
mean, yes, Jalen Brunson was a big help, but he still did it, right? Now he is facing the guys that were in the NBA Finals last year.
Mhm.
And the fact that I'm still seeing Jalen Brunson is you're literally flipping a coin with him at this point. Is he gonna play good? Is he gonna play bad? Because if he plays great, like he's been doing in game 3 and 4, the Dallas Mavericks have a strong chance on
Right.
winning the game. They
Right.
do. And that's the thing. But with all that, when I'm looking at every single game, the only consistent factor that there is Luka Doncic. And not to switch the subject real quick, as of right now, and I want you to be completely honest with me.
Mhm.
If you had to start a team right now, forget who's the surrounding cast. You're starting a team right now. Is it Luka or Steph Curry?
I'm taking Steph. Sorry. I'm going to take Steph and I'm going to do exactly what the Warriors did. Put pieces around him that are counterparts to him going off. Here's the thing. When people are throwing around who you want to start a team with, the Warriors did that. They had between Monte Ellis and Steph. They chose Steph and built around Steph, and they built a dynasty, right? With Luka, over the course of the years, we've sat here and said, okay, we can put this guy with them, put this guy with them. They tried Kristaps Porzingis, and honestly, I was a believer that could have worked. I was like, okay, well, Kristaps can still shoot that thing a little bit, and Luka's obviously Luka, so maybe it'll work. Maybe two, foreign players can work together. It ended up poorly, obviously, but it wasn't Luka's fault, was it? No, it was Kristaps. But now you put Kristaps Porzingis on the Warriors with Steph in a pick and fade. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like certain players that can go play the Warrior system, which revolves around Steph. Look at Bielitsa.
So you're basically so when you're starting a franchise, you're hoping to get Steph Curry and hope that the stars align just like it happened to Steph to have a perfect system around him.
There isn't a hope for the stars to align, Ryan. It's literally the fact of the matter that they went out there and said, this guy can shoot, this guy can play defense, this guy can rebound. We can go get this guy from the Nuggets and bring him in.
If I'm picking a player to start a franchise right now, is Luka Doncic, and it's not even. First of all, I also am considering age, right?
Okay.
So
okay, that's fair.
That's Luka right there.
Okay, if we're going off of age, I'm taking.
But let's say age is not a factor, right? Let's just say age is not a factor. I'm still picking Luka, and here's why. Luka Doncic, yes, I mean you could say Steph Curry's a better scorer, but Luka's not that behind from
I
Steph.
mean, it's pretty debatable, honestly.
You could debate who's a better scorer, who's a better playmaker, Luka Doncic. Who's a better rebounder, Luka Doncic. Who controls the aspect of the game more, Luka Doncic. So if I want a player to start my team, I'm picking Luka Doncic over Steph Curry any day of the week. And it's nothing against Steph, right? Steph has been great, the greatest three-point shooter of all time. That is not a question. But when I'm starting a team, I'd rather have Luka Doncic. And Luka Doncic is about to prove, probably this year or the following year, that he is taking the mantle of the best point guard in the world from Steph Curry.
It's just interesting to me. That's just very interesting to me. I think
because of right now, you could say that Luka Doncic has had a better season than Steph Curry.
I mean,
you could say that.
I mean, if you want to, I guess.
Because you're the same guy from Shout Out to New Rivals that said that Kevin Durant has been having a better season than LeBron James. Even though I'm taking history a part of it, you said that KD is having a better season. So with that very same logic, Luka Doncic is having a better season than Steph Curry. And for me, nothing changes from Luka Doncic this year and Luka Doncic the following year after that, 5 more years after that. Luka Doncic is going to have better seasons from here on out than Steph Curry. So that's why we got to start pushing the agenda. And I'm trying to convince you right now because I don't want you to be part of the bandwagon. I'm literally creating the bandwagon right now that Luka Doncic is better than Steph Curry. So when it actually happens, and then all of this is being pushed on ESPN, Fox Sports, any other media, whatever, I don't want you to say, "Oh, I agree," because I'm telling you right now that is gonna happen.
So let me just make sure that I got this right. You're telling me that in the next few years, Luka's gonna be better than Steph.
1,000%.
As Steph is aging, because he's 33, so it'll be in a few years he'll be 36. In a few years for Luka, he'll be 25. So yeah, I'm gonna be behind you on that when the time comes, when Steph is like obvious.
What I'm telling you is that the time started.
Right now.
Yes.
No,
yes.
That's not what it is. That's not what it is.
Luka is better than Steph Curry right now.
Okay.
Forget what Steph has done in the past. Right now, from here on out, Luka's better.
Okay. Listen. So I can see your points on that. I respect your points on that. Do you think that Luka Doncic could beat the Suns and go on to the Western Conference Finals? And if this is all hypothetical, obviously, when he gets to the conference finals and he matches up with Golden State, what's going to happen?
Mavs in 7.
The Mavs in 7. So mind you, this is the same team that you just said had when Luka doesn't have any help. So it's funny to me because you said that You said that if you have the best player in the series, you're gonna be able to have a chance to win. But if
Yes.
Luka's out there averaging 32, the Warriors are gonna do to Luka what they did to LeBron. LeBron's gonna do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody around him is gonna help because their team isn't better than our team. Steph, on the other hand, is sitting here probably thinking to himself, well, he matches up with Luka, the exact same thing. Luka's going to do what he wants to do. But I have myself. I can get Clay involved if I want to. I got Jordan. But if I wanted to take the mantle, Steph could take the mantle. So I see Warriors in 5, only because there's going to be one game in that series where the Warriors get lackadaisical like they've been in this. Oh, my God. They annoy me when they do that. Ugh.
Let's
But
say, let's
Mavs
say,
in
let's
7,
say,
interesting.
let's say that the Warriors do win, right?
Right.
Warriors in 6 or whatever. I'm still guarantee you that the best player in that series would not be Steph.
Interesting.
The way the Warriors will win is gonna be based on team basketball, and that's the only way they'll win. Is
That's
based
smart.
on team basketball, right? On team basketball. But when you're looking at the best player in that series, you're gonna realize, because I know I'm telling you, Mavs in 7, and that's what's gonna happen. Because if they could do this to the Phoenix Suns, if they could
I'm
come
rooting
out,
for the Mavs tonight.
if
Oh my god.
if the Mavs beat the Suns, right,
Mm-hmm.
and they go match up with the Warriors, hopefully they match up with the Warriors in
Hopefully.
in the Western Conference Finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the difference from what Luca did to them to what they're gonna do to the
So
Warriors.
let
I
me get
really
this
don't
straight.
see a
So Ryan,
difference.
the
Hmm.
two, so the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors is everybody's hypothetical Western Conference Finals pick since the start of the season. Oh, not
Yep.
since the start. For some reason, some idiot thought it was going to be the Lakers. Don't know why. But anyway,
I
the,
don't
the
know who he was.
Warriors and the Suns are the ideal Western Conference matchup. The same way that whoever the winner of the Boston and Milwaukee series is probably going to go to the finals. Same way
Hmm.
that's the idea. You're taking that though. You're taking that though, and you're adding in the context of the fact that you, just like everybody else on Team Luca, says that he doesn't have help. So what's gonna actually change in the series? Because right now in the Phoenix series, Luca's averaging 32. I told you Jalen's averaging
Hmm.
18. They got Maxi Kleber, who's actually pretty good, averaging 11, and Dorian averaging 12. Everybody besides that is averaging less than 10 points a game. You look at the Warriors, I don't even want to bring the numbers up because you already know you got to go from Steph to Clay and Jordan. They're all averaging over 20. Draymond's doing his thing the Draymond way. And then you got guys like Otto Porter coming off the bench. Like, dude, it's not, it's going to be the same exact story. So if they match up, I don't want you to say after the third game, Luka doesn't have any help, because we already know he's not going to have any help, because that's just, he's going up against a fucking dynasty. He's going up against the championship DNA of the best big three in basketball: Steph, Clay, and Dre. It's that simple.
Z, for the love of my life, so we can move on from here, because if not, we'll be talking about this for the next 45 minutes, right?
Oh, God.
If the Warriors don't make it to the West, and I am praying that they do. I really am.
Uh-huh.
But if some way they blow another 3-1 lead
Oh,
to
my
the
God.
Memphis Grizzlies without John Morant, I don't care what happens to Luca. I really don't. I am going to be saying Luka Doncic over Steph Curry if that happens right there.
So you're one of the like 12-year-olds that think that, so I saw a comment last night under the
Hmm.
under the post of the Warriors and Grizzlies game, and it was like, Warriors and 3-1 leads don't have a good connection. And I commented and said, so the Warriors haven't blown a 3-1 lead in 6 years.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing. For people like you, I guess
Well,
Warriors,
out of the 6 years, so it's basically 4 years because 2 of those years they make the
yeah.
playoffs. So keep going.
Nonetheless, when they went up 3-1 the next year, they didn't blow that shit, did they? No,
Oh
they
yeah,
didn't.
because they had Kevin Durant.
When they
But
went
keep
up
going.
the next year, they didn't blow it. And in
KD,
2019, they didn't blow it. Against the
KD,
Nuggets, they didn't blow it. Again,
KD.
oh, what happened this year against the Nuggets? Hmm?
Oh, you talk about this year? I mean, there's no Jamal Murray, no Michael
Oh,
Porter
okay.
Jr.
So that same. So you think that Jamal Murray? You think that Jamal Murray and Jokic
I
would have
just
beat
think
the Warriors?
it would have been a would no. I don't think they would have beat them, but I think it would have been a better series than what we saw.
It would have been a better series, but Jokic's numbers probably would have went down, obviously, from
Yeah,
averaging
but
what,
for the
30,
benefit of the team.
for the benefit of the team. Nonetheless, every time I see people say 3-1, I'm like, y'all just y'all just really want the Warriors like identity in the next 20 years to be known for 3-1, but it's
I
not,
mean, as of right now, why there's nothing that proves that they can't keep a 3-1 lead after the three, because after that, after the iconic 3-1 lead that they blew against the Cleveland Cavaliers,
right?
they introduced LeBron James. I mean, they introduced Kevin Durant, and obviously it's kind of hard to blow a 3-1 lead with that squad for
Yeah.
2017, 2018, and 2019,
Hmm.
right? Then the following 2 years, there was no playoffs due to injury, no Steph, no Clay, no Draymond for two
They
years. I
come.
mean, then this year they finally, after basically 3 years of not playing all together at the same time, they are finally here, right? They
Hmm.
were up 3-1 against Jokic. Again, no Jamal Murray, no Michael Porter Jr., right? A
Right.
Kevin Durant less team, and now we're in the same scenario. They were up 3-1. They just lost game. They just lost last night. I forgot what game that was. It was game 5. They
Right.
lost game 5. Nothing. I see why people are skeptical of what
So so so
3-1 lead,
so
because
people so
nothing.
people
So nothing has changed from 2016, they introduce Kevin Durant. They go crazy with KD. They get injured. Unfortunately, all of them basically got injured at the wrong time because they basically couldn't play with each other for 2 years straight. They're finally back together, and now they're up 3-1. They lose a game. I would be concerned as well. If you ask Warrior fans, do they have like some type of PTSD of being up
no.
3-1? Yes. Shout out to Mars. Mars from Player's Choice. If you go ask them right now, are you just a tad concerned that you're 3-1 and they lost last night? You know what he's gonna say? Yes, I am concerned.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Obviously, I'm not a Warriors fan. I was a Warrior hater back in 8th grade.
Uh
Over
huh.
the years, though, I realized because all we had for NBA basketball was Warriors versus LeBron and or Cleveland and or
That was
LeBron.
the yep. Mm-hmm.
But in those years, when you watch the Warriors play, like Draymond said a couple days ago, we're known for that team that can kind of play a little lackadaisical at times and just throws threes up or whatever he said. That's exactly what the Warriors do. But at the same time, after a loss like that, Ryan, when you look at, once again, the championship DNA, especially in the big three, do you think that Draymond Green and Steph and Clay after the game sat back and were like, well, it was fun? No. Draymond probably yelled at each and every single one of them. Steph probably got a word in. Clay probably got a word in and said, we are not going to perform like that in game 6 because they had like 14 turnovers in the first quarter, damn near. The point of the matter is, everybody keeps overreacting, and I like that because that's what the fans do. That's what NBA fans do.
Z
We
Z Z.
overreact in the moment.
What happens? Okay, but
What? What
let,
happens
let's
when?
let's just say, right? I think and don't think that I think that the Memphis Grizzlies are gonna come back and win this series. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
But let's say this, right? What happens? What happens if Memphis goes to Golden State and they beat them there as well? Are you concerned?
The Warriors have beat Memphis in Memphis and in Golden State. So, no.
You
No.
wouldn't. So
On top of
after
that,
being
on top of that,
after being up 3-1, they're going to game 6. Memphis wins game 6 and they go to game 7. You're not a tad concerned.
nope, not at all. Not at all.
That
Because you
is a
want to know
Steph
why I'm
Curry
not
fan right
concerned?
there.
You want to know why I'm not concerned?
What?
Because the Memphis Grizzlies have shown since the playoffs started how immature they are.
Very
And it's not
immature.
and the thing is, I'm not even mad at them for it because they're young. They're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get this playoff experience and it's gonna make them better for years to come, especially Ja. But the point of the matter is, you looked at what was it, game was it game 4 when Jaren Jackson shoots a 3 with
That
16
was
seconds left
stupid.
on the
That
clock
was stupid.
over 3 Warriors players and
Mm-hmm.
gets blocked. So moments like that, you wouldn't see Klay Thompson or Steph shoot a shot with
One thousand
16
percent.
seconds left over
Yeah,
4 people.
they're
That's
mature
dumb.
players. Championship basketball. That's what they
Exactly.
are. Yeah.
So the Memphis Grizzlies are inexperienced, and it
Mm-hmm.
showed last night. What last night showed is they ain't gonna lay down and they ain't ducking no smoke, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. Which is fine. It's cute. It's dandy. It led them to a 40-point win, damn near, whatever it was. The point of the matter is, in this series, we have seen a 30-point win, a 40-point win. The Grizzlies were up by 50 at one point. A Ja missed layup, Clay missing 2 free throws, 2 ejections, a suspension, an injury, another injury. We've seen everything that we needed to see in this series. The Warriors need to just sit there and be like, okay, let's not play like a bunch of idiots. On top of that, their own coach wasn't even there for these last 2 games,
Mm-hmm.
Steve Kerr. And you know Steve Kerr wouldn't be going for that shit. Every time the Warriors made a turnover, Mike Brown was over there like, let's go, let's get it back. Steve Kerr would have been literally popping a blood vessel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm adding all of that in. But at the end of the day, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And it's going to be fine because of that good old-fashioned championship DNA.
So let's just move on from here. But I'm just saying, let's just hope they win Game 6. That's all I gotta say.
All right.
I'm rooting for the Warriors. But speaking about a great basketball series, I do want to talk about the other side in the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee and the Boston Celtics. Um, Giannis is the best player in the world.
Undoubtedly.
Undoubtedly, I think we could both agree he is the best player in the world. I think me and you were in the fence as well in the beginning of the season. I think me and you were calling KD the best player in the world still, even because of what happened last season in the playoffs. Z, you here? Oh, my man Z. Think the brother disconnected. All right, fellas. Well, I'm gonna keep talking right here when we come back. If you made it far to this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. All right, cool.
What
What's
the
up, Z?
what just happened?
I don't know. I think you think I had a heart attack. Anyways, like I was saying,
What
me and you in the beginning of the season had a similar stance on Kevin Durant because of what happened last year in the playoffs. That although
mm-hmm.
Giannis did beat the Nets, KD was by far the best player in that series, and I
Right.
think we could agree. With that being said,
Mm-hmm.
this year Kevin Durant, has played great. I'm not saying he hasn't, but when we look at the level of consistency that Giannis has been putting up from last year and this year, I mean, you really can't just
That's why
ignore what Giannis been doing.
that's why
That's
I've
the thing.
never been angry with
Hmm.
anybody that has had Giannis as their best player because I look at it in the same exact way. The consistency of Giannis since his first MVP season, he may not
Yep.
have contributed to playoff success only one time, and that was last year. But at the same time, it's been like we've literally kind of watched him grow up in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's
Like
just getting better.
he still has some struggles. Free throws are still a
Hmm.
struggle, even though I kind of want to attribute it to the fact that this motherfucker is tired because, I mean, like, he didn't look gassed this series in ways that I've
Hmm.
never seen. But that's a testament to Boston Celtics defense right there because this
Hmm.
series has been great. But at the same time, yeah, he there isn't really a case for a lot of other guys. I threw KD in there because obviously, like, you would look at KD on some nights and be like, yeah, he's that guy. Same way
Hmm.
with Giannis saying that KD was the best player in the world after beating him was like Larry calling Michael Jordan Black
Yeah,
Jesus.
exactly. Hmm.
But the point of the matter is that Giannis is Giannis had pressure on him this series to not end up looking like KD against Boston. And so far, Giannis has proved that it don't matter what defense you run, can't none of y'all guard me. The fact that
Hmm.
Jason Tatum is so willing to guard Giannis, because I don't know who Jason Tatum thinks Giannis is, but like Giannis is like probably twice the size of Jason
And
Tatum.
the thing is, I think JT, because keep in mind Kevin Durant is in history, like just on players' perspectives, like players that have played against KD,
Yes.
the hardest player to guard ever. Like that's what people are saying. So the level of confidence Jason Tatum had from basically locking down Kevin Durant in some of the games in the Boston Celtics Brooklyn Nets series, I would be confident as hell that I could stop Giannis as well. After that, like I'm like, yo, if I could stop the most unguardable player, I could definitely stop Giannis. The problem is that Giannis is a lot stronger than Jason Tatum
There's a
because what
difference.
JT did, he stopped a skilled basketball player. Now
Yeah.
you're playing a dominant basketball player. The only way you could stop him is by following him and make him shoot free throws or try to avoid him not getting the damn basketball. That's the only way you stop Giannis. And playing team defense. You can't and this is the thing that I've been watching in this series. They're for some reason, I don't know what is the expectation here. I blame this more on the coach than actually Jason Tatum, but I'm seeing a lot of ISO ball with Giannis. And if you're gonna give Giannis ISO ball, he's just gonna drag you all the way to the paint, and good luck stopping Giannis. Because that is not gonna what happened with KD is not gonna happen with Giannis. Because there's two different type of players. One
There,
is a skilled basketball player. The other one is a dominant basketball player. You play Giannis as a team defense, and you play KD. You could play ISO or team defense at the same time. It doesn't
yes,
really matter. So I mean, it's just
I would
yeah.
say
I
that
don't know what Boston is doing.
I would say that Boston played KD in a team defense style because you
Hmm.
watched it. They were getting to KD spots before KD was getting to
Exactly.
his spots to make
Hmm.
sure that they could at least contest it and or shake him or make him second guess. The problems that I saw with KD was there was moments where he was hesitant, but at the same time you're looking at it like, well, he's being double teamed right now, so I guess it makes sense. But they shut him down in a way that I've never seen Kevin Durant be shut down. But they did it as a team. That's why I give props to their coach. I just want to call him the Big U because I really his name
Yeah, I forgot his name. Yeah,
is Uday
yeah,
Big
Uday something.
Nia Long's husband, the dude that's piping Nia Long. You, you're the man. But in this series, it's different because you can play that team basketball all you want. The Bucks have a better team than the Brooklyn Nets do because they have more options. And one of their second option isn't even playing. But Drew Holiday has stepped up. Bobby Portis has stepped up. Pat Connaughton has stepped up, and he was doing great. He was doing great things in the finals. His confidence since the finals has been amazing. Grayson Allen stepped up. So the thing is that Giannis is still getting his own. He's averaging 31 and 13 in the playoffs in 10 games on 51% shooting. 3-point shooting has been asked, but it's Giannis, so we don't really care.
Hmm.
Free throw shooting, 65%, which is the second best in this playoff career. So it's he's only 27, dude. He's only 27.
And he's only getting better.
He's only
So
getting
like
better.
it's scary. And if that guy develops a 3-point shot, I think it's kind of hard for him to develop one at this. Well, if LeBron could develop a better 3-point shot at this point of his career, I don't
Yeah.
see why Giannis can. But yeah, no, whatever Giannis is doing, I don't know what type of training he's doing in Greece, but it's working. Shout out to Giannis, and I really do think they're gonna beat the Celtics. In the next game, they'll be
Shout out to JJ too. You're a Celtics
game
fan.
6. Yeah, JJ is gonna be emotional after this.
Yes.
But the last series of the day, or not the day, but the last series that we haven't talked about is Philadelphia and the Miami Heat. We already kind of touched on the Miami Heat a little bit. We talked about Jimmy Butler
Yeah.
and all that stuff, how he is the consistent guy, and there's always like 3 or 4 people that could also be the second guy if they need to be. We get it. Miami's a great team, great defense as well. I don't have to question that. Let's talk about Philadelphia. Philadelphia, in the beginning of in the middle of the season, did a big blockbuster trade, and it was Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Pal Millsap. I think it was like a first or second round pick for James Harden and some other guy. I think Paul Millsap ended up over here anyways, I don't know what it was. The main source of that trade was Ben Simmons and James Harden. They swapped. There was other players. Seth went to Brooklyn. Yada yada yada. Here's the thing. I'm watching James right now. Game in game 3, James Harden played great. I think he had 38 points and he closed out the game. I mean, James was balling. Yesterday comes. What the hell happened?
I mean,
Joel Embiid came playing with a broken face, injured as hell, and he's trying his best. But the man that I know from Houston is not coming out playing the basketball that I know he could play. So
dude,
I don't even know what's going on with James.
it's not, I predicted this perfectly. And I don't even know if it was on New Rivals or not, but I literally said that in the playoffs, the way that the Philadelphia 76ers are going to play is most likely Joel's going to get hurt, just like last year, just like the year. Like Joel Embiid is in the playoffs, he always seems to get hurt in the playoffs somehow, some way, or so it seemed over the course of the last recent years. James Harden has moments where he is James Harden, and he has moments where he is Lames Harden. The problem is that when you have those two elements on a Philadelphia 76er team in which those are your go-to options, you're going to run across a team like Miami who plays team-oriented basketball, is a superior coach. in Eric Spoelstra
Eric Spoelstra, yep.
compared to what's his name, Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers most overrated coach of all time. Let's be honest. The only significant factor that he has for him is anything is possible. That's it. That's the only thing that he has going for him. That's it. Eric Spoelstra is a good coach because he knows when he sees talent on his team and he has his rotations in order, he has substitutions in order, the defensive switches are in order, he has everything mapped out. Because he's seen a lot before. He's had LeBron and D Wade on his team. He's had Wade on his team. He's seen a lot before, right? When I look at this team and I look at Philly, I don't see a comparison. I don't care that you have Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid has he's not as injury prone as Anthony Davis, and it sucks. It sucks every time I have to talk about this, but that's just how it is. It just seems like he just keeps getting hurt. And James Harden,
and it happens in the playoffs too. So it's not like it's not in the regular season. It's in the
so
playoffs.
Weird.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Joel still plays, obviously, but he isn't going to be playing at the level that he would be healthy. Now, healthy Joel Embiid, that's a different story. But that's just not the case here. And with James Harden, I don't think that James Harden is necessarily washed. I think that he's wishy-washy, meaning that he'll have a game in which he looks like his old self. The next game, he's 5 of 18 with 9 assists and 7 rebounds to make up for it, but they lose the game because he was 5 for 18.
And here's the thing with me with James Harden. Like, I don't think James Harden is washed at all. Like, I think James Harden could be James Harden. It's just ever since he went to Brooklyn, he accepted himself to no longer be the number one option, to no longer be the guy to finish up the game. And now he's in Philadelphia and he understands this is Joel's team. Like he respects that, but he's respecting that a little too much because when they need James Harden to ball out when Joel is obviously hurt or not playing, you need to step up. And that's something that James Harden hasn't understood. And if he, doesn't understand that, one, he might end up not being in Philadelphia next year. That could be a possibility. Two, I mean, no, he could just opt into whatever play option he got. So that's, never mind. But one, there's gonna be drama in Philadelphia. Two, Joel Embiid is probably gonna get injured next year again. Knock on wood, hopefully not. And he's gonna be dealing with the same thing. And if he doesn't understand that he needs to be the number one option to go and win a damn championship with James Harden, you can win a championship this year if you play like your old self. You really can.
The thing is what is his old self? James Harden is a notorious playoff choker. And it's not even a media driven thing because you can look up the stats for James and you can look up the games for James, the elimination games. I mean, bro, I could just list them off the top of my head right now. For starters, obviously 2019 game 6, they let Steph have 0 points and then destroy them in the second half. 2018, James Harden's leading the charge. It is, oh my God, he's going up against Steph, Clay, and Kevin Durant. The Rockets have the best record in the NBA that year.
Yep.
We didn't have Chris Paul. James Harden. That means that without Chris Paul, James Harden attributed as the number one option to 27 straight missed threes by his team. And they were open threes. Like 25 of them were open, maybe. James Harden in the fourth quarter of that game shot like shit in the fourth quarter. So it's a constant cycle.
And it wasn't a blowout game either. It's like
it wasn't even a blowout game.
Yeah, like that's it.
Like I don't care what and I think that we need to recognize this, and we will.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain super teams that, like the 2017 Warriors, are a completely different team than the 2018 Warriors, in my opinion. The 2018 Warriors got way too settled into what they were doing. 2017 was like, we're going to fire at you from all cylinders. 2018, they got a little too comfortable, and things got a little shaky. They pulled through in the end, though, right? In the Houston series is where things got shaky. The point of the matter is, going back to Harden, James Harden, in my opinion, cannot be a number one option anymore, which is not a bad thing.
Yep.
James Harden has always been a team guy or known what is best for the team since he walked into the league and he was coming off the bench for OKC. He gets traded to Houston, becomes number one option. They have playoff success. They run into Steph and the Warriors and they lose all the time. That makes sense. And then we get all the way to Brooklyn and we're sitting here saying, who's going to get the ball? You have 3 guys. You have Kyrie, KD, and Harden, 3 of the best scorers ever, right? Well, Kyrie, best finisher, whatever, however you want to put it. The point of the matter is James Harden adapted and started to pass that thing and get triple doubles. He settled for 20 and 10 and 10 nights compared to 33, 10 and 10 nights. And that was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Now we get over to Philly and everybody was like, oh my God, it's hard in Philly. I'm like, okay, so you're pairing up a playoff choker with someone who gets injured in the playoffs, and you think that that's going to get you far.
With a
So
bad
far this
coach.
series, they've had games where they've been striking. They've had games where they've not been striking. But it's up. It's up to Harden. What is it? 3-2 right now. It's up to Harden.
So if they
It's
lose,
all
they
up to
play
Harden.
tonight. They play tonight. So we could either not talk about James Harden next week,
Yep.
or I mean, it's all up to James Harden because Joel Embiid is not. He's playing, but obviously it's not the same Joel Embiid that we know because he's injured. But let's just hope what happens. But I do want to talk about another thing. Jokic, and we talked about Joel for a long time. Jokic got one MVP. We can have a quick thoughts about this. Do you think he deserved the MVP or what's up, Z?
He deserved it. He deserved it. He deserved it. Like here, like this is like Jokic winning MVP is the weirdest shit for me to process because it's like in my head, right? The game that I watch, the game that I understand, the season that I've
Uh-huh.
watched, it makes total sense, right?
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, Giannis had a case.
Yeah.
Joel had a case. Giannis averaged 30 and 6 assists and 12 rebounds and damn near 2 blocks a game. Obviously, when I look at the top three of MVP voting, you got Jokic, you got Giannis, and Jokic, Joel, and Giannis. Those are my top three. No particular order, obviously, but it is what it is. The problem is that all three had a case.
Yeah.
Where Joel's case went away was
Was
with
when.
the Harden trade.
Yep.
That's where his because at the beginning of the season, I was like, the Sixers are the 2 seed, and they don't have Ben Simmons, and Joel's doing his thing. He might win the MVP. They get James Harden, and the media's whole entire mindset changes because now you have another guy. Whereas Jokic
Mm-hmm.
is going into another season with the same narrative. That is what pisses me off because the MVP, I've told you before, you've heard me say it, the MVP is narrative driven.
Yeah.
The problem is you take a guy like Jokic, he had the same exact story for 2 seasons in a row. So if that was the case, they might as well have given him the MVP back in fucking December. Like it's stupid. You don't have Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. for the second year in a row, whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case may be, right? Going into the playoffs, whatever. So I'm sitting here like before the playoffs started, I was like, okay, so we got Nuggets and Warriors, right? For some reason, idiots were thinking the Nuggets actually had a chance. They didn't. Jokic was going to go out there and put up godlike center numbers. He did. But they don't have a shot because they don't have a damn team besides him and maybe Boogie. Boogie, I love Boogie. Boogie has resurrected himself, and I love it. I
Yeah,
freaking
I
love
do
it.
like that. I do like
The
that.
problem is that in 20 years, we're going to look back on these MVPs, and they're going to be in comparison with Steve Nash's because the fact that the MVP, back-to-back MVP, rather, got the trophy 2 years in a row while at home. He got the
Mm-hmm.
trophy delivered to him at home. Why? Because he was done by the first round. So people are like, it's a regular season award. We know it's a regular season award, people. We do. We know it's a regular season award. But you want to know what we also know? The MVP award used to have a little bit of prestige
Yep.
surrounding its name. Because we look back at the other people that have won back-to-back MVPs, Steph, LeBron, Michael Jordan. We're looking at those people, and we're
It's
saying,
a
where
crime.
is
It's a
Jokic?
crime that we can't say Kobe
It's
with that.
it's a bro.
It's a,
I'm gonna put Kobe. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna put Kobe. I don't
it,
care. I'm gonna put Kobe. Because he was robbed. The point of the matter is, Larry Bird. Like, dude, Jokic is in that category with those guys.
and if Jokic wins another MVP next year,
That's not gonna happen. I will
dude,
riot. I will
if that
fucking riot.
happens, I'll be so. And it's not like he had horrible numbers. I think I have
He
his stats
didn't.
over here. Well, yeah, he averaged 27, 11, and 7. So I mean, his numbers did go up from last season.
Right.
So I mean, but when you compare to what you said with Giannis, and Giannis had a better record, and Giannis was on the conversation of being Defensive Player of the Year. For
And
me, and undoubtedly, Giannis is the best player in the NBA as
yeah.
well. So all of those factors, and you still give it a Jokic because he has no help. I don't well deserved Jokic. You are because you for me were part of the MVP picks for me. I would have
Right.
given it a Giannis, but I'm not mad at you being MVP. But the fact
No.
that it's the same reason why you won MVP That's the
for
thing
the
that
second year in a row.
exactly,
So
and
what if
I agree
Jamal
with you.
comes back next year and then gets hurt again, and then are they gonna give it to him again? And then he's gonna match up with either the Warriors or the Mavericks or any other team in the freaking Western Conference
And he'll be
that's
the
higher than a
first
fifth
player,
seed
and he'll be the
and
first player. He'll be the first
get
player since Larry Bird, first player since Larry Bird to win 3 MVP straight.
I don't and the thing with me is that like people that are saying that it's a regular season award, we know that, but it's not like that was the criteria over the course of the last
Yep.
30 years. Because back in the day, it was like case in point. If people are going to say that Jokic's MVP is a regular season award because he was the most viable in all of these things, right? Then that would mean that Derrick Rose's 2011 MVP
Oh, I don't even
is
want to talk about this.
completely justifiable because you take Rose off that team with the injuries that he had on that team to Joakim Noah, Carlos Boozer, all those guys, his defensive players, he was the only scoring option damn
They
near
also
besides the Wall
blacklisted
Pierce,
LeBron that
right?
season, but keep going.
The point of the matter is you take LeBron off of Miami's team, they're going to make the playoffs. You take Rose off of the Bulls, they're not going to make the playoffs that year. We know that. The point of the matter is that, dude, we get what the MVP award means, but if y'all were so mad about LeBron not getting it in 2011, because the case of and you said it, LeBron was clearly the best player in the world, but that didn't matter because he wasn't the most viable. Then I'll be set right now that Jokic has won 2 back-to-back MVPs. I'll be set on that. If you can sit here and tell me that you're fine with LeBron not getting it, that's all I'm saying.
I'm not fine with that at all, so I'm not gonna tell you
Exactly. But
that.
that's a message. That is a
Yeah,
message for anybody that hates on Rose's MVP. If you're gonna use that logic for against Rose for LeBron, then apply it to Jokic for Giannis, I guess.
exactly. Because I think Giannis should have been MVP. So
He should have been.
I'm
Voters
in.
fatigue is the dumbest thing
Yeah,
ever, dude.
Giannis
It's
should
so
be.
dumb.
Giannis should have 4 MVPs by now. Anyways, last topic. You talk about LeBron James is the last topic of the day. I really don't know much about this. I just read it this morning, and I don't know what the hell's going on in LA.
Oh my
But
god. LA's a
apparently,
shit show.
Phil Jackson was in the front office with Jeannie Buss, and basically is just spreading the word that if you're gonna trade anyone, it should be LeBron James, and you keep Russell Westbrook.
Interesting.
Um, I'm confused on
Me too.
why he would say that because if Phil Jackson is a championship coach, so if you want to win a championship, don't you need the guy that has won a lot of championships or considered the greatest player of all time on your
Right.
team to win championships?
The way I see
Or
it, the way I see it, we saw The Last Dance. We know Phil
yeah.
Jackson was on that stuff back in the day. He was doing his thing. When he was going overseas and like talking to tiki
Uh-huh.
crowds and shit and smoking shrooms and any
I
other
think
plant he can inhale.
he was on something when he said that. And in another way, I could also look at it that they gave away their future basically, so they don't have a future right now in LA when LeBron does leave. So trading LeBron maybe is the best way to at least get some things back when it comes with picks and all that stuff. But even looking at it like that, it's like
Yo, this is do you realize what you're literally explaining how the Lakers fucked up? They literally
yeah,
trapped
yeah,
themselves.
they're like
And
in a
I
trap
and
card.
since no. This is the moment I've been waiting for right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Light and Hunch, and I'm ZZ Huncho, and I'm about to get into it. Because let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. We started the show when Ryan was like, "You remember what I said on episode 12?" Well, listen to what I'm saying on episode 13. Do you remember what I said at the start of the season when I said that the Lakers were going to be absolute dog water? And I was
You did
right.
say
And
that.
the reason that I was right is because I looked at the pieces in which they gave up for what they gave and the fits in which those pieces were going to show us. And what they showed us was you have LeBron James, arguably the greatest of all time. The
Hmm.
reason that he's arguably the greatest of all time, minus the accolades, is because of how he plays. In my opinion, LeBron is the best basketball player we've ever seen, right?
Hmm.
You have that. You have Anthony Emergency Room Davis. And then you bring on Russell Box Turtle Westbrook. And you mean to tell me that Anthony Davis with his injury history and Russell Westbrook with his Russell Westbrook history, in terms of literally, you're going to take Russell Westbrook at the point guard position, and what are you going to do? You going to put LeBron at the shooting guard position and let him shoot corner threes? No, that's not going to work. So how about we put LeBron at the point guard and let Russ take the shoot? Oh, I forgot. Russell can't be a
That's
shooting guard because
yeah,
the
that
first
can't
word,
work either.
first word of
Yeah.
it, shooting.
Uh-huh.
Whatever. You're surrounding those three with you got back Dwight Howard because you needed something.
Mhm.
Off the bench, the Lakers fans remember when they were hyping up THT? How's that going? Interesting.
Yeah.
Malik Monk was actually balling.
I love Malik.
Malik
You
and
can't
Austin.
don't talk about Malik or Austin.
Yeah,
Those are the
Malik and
gems of
Austin,
our
they were
teams.
doing their thing. They were doing their thing. I
Mhm.
like those guys. But where do you go from there? I said it before. I told you this. In 2020, the Lakers got it absolutely right. That's how you build a championship team.
Yep.
Granted, it was in the bubble, but it doesn't really matter because I think that Lakers team by far was better than every other team in the league because they just had everything. They had all their X's and O's crossed. They had LeBron. They had Rondo. Oh my God, Rondo was perfect point guard for Los Angeles. Rondo literally went from Boston to Los Angeles and won 2 championships as the starting point. Like that's how good Rondo is. You had Anthony Davis, LeBron James, you got KCP, you got Dwight Howard coming off the bench. All of that. And this season, 2 years later, we got Carmelo Anthony coming off the bench because of LeBron, which is perfectly fine. Still love Melo. I would love Melo to win with LeBron.
I would love to keep Melo.
Yeah, I would keep Melo just
Yeah.
because I want LeBron and Melo to win a championship together.
Yeah.
That'd be great. That'd be
Mhm.
like a fairy tale ending. But the point of the matter is, the Lakers fucked themselves up bad, and
And the
Lakers
fact and the
fans.
fact and the fact that they're thinking about trading LeBron to get some of their future back, that's
The
tough.
Lakers. This is LeBron James's Lakers story right here. Right in 2019, he gets there. He does his thing. His team's ass. He gets hurt, and they miss the playoffs.
Mhm.
In 2020, they get a good team. They win the title in ESPN Worldwide Sportsplex or whatever they were at. And then 2021 happens, and they lose in the first round. But it was because Anthony Davis was hurt, and LeBron was hurt, and all these
I
things.
still believe that if Anthony Davis was there, we would have won that series.
The Suns were
But keep
the
going.
better team
They
by
would have won
far.
that series.
No, they were.
I that nothing changes my mind. Every time I saw Anthony Davis play, it was hell for the Phoenix Suns. But obviously, the
Ever since
emergency room was in the locker room.
it all went downhill when LeBron did that, and who was in the back, knocking.
I think it was Drummond.
Oh yeah, Drummond's ass. So
Yeah.
it all went downhill from there, and then 2022 hits. You trade for Russell Westbrook, you could have had DeMar DeRozan, who was willing to take a pay cut, and you didn't take the offer. You chose Russ. So then you choose Russ. Y'all have a complete shit show of a season. The Lake Show turned into the shit show so fast. And then we get to hear we start from LeBron getting to LA, getting Anthony Davis to come to LA, and now we're all the way to let's trade LeBron James. Let's trade the man that made it happen. We went
Ungrateful Laker fans. Ungrateful. You know what? We're taking if LeBron leaves, we're taking the ring as well and the championship trophy.
God,
Yeah, because if that's what's gonna happen, bro, fine. I'll buy the jersey that LeBron's at. But
do you think as a Lakers fan with Phil Jackson saying this that the reason that he's saying it is because he thinks who does he think is going to be the future? Anthony Davis if they let LeBron go? They're going to build around AD?
I just think the only way that I'm really looking at this is that they think because LeBron is getting older and he hasn't signed the big contract yet with the Lakers and they have no future and the only player that could really give them a lot it will be LeBron James himself. So
it seems like LeBron and the Laker organization is like that relationship that you have where LeBron
beefy.
No, it's not even beef. It's like LeBron's just having second thoughts. Like he's sitting here looking the end of his career and where he is like in this situation, it's the new girl. That's the new girl. The end of his career is the new girl that he's thinking about. But the Lakers are the girl that he went there and he thought was going to be the one. And then the Lakers on the Lakers side is like, we know you want to leave. We know you want to leave me for your end of your career celebration. We know you might want to go back and play with your son. You want to leave me for your son. Fine. And then Jeannie comes in and says, how about we just trade you?
Yeah.
LeBron's probably like, you're nothing without me.
I think when Jeannie said that was like,
Yeah.
Okay, do it. Do it.
I
Do
just
it.
I just think there's like a marriage strain. Like
Yeah,
that's the Lakers and LeBron
and
right now.
trade him to the Golden State Warriors.
Oh my God, if LeBron went to the
Yeah.
Warriors,
Will you give Draymond Green away for LeBron?
the Warriors wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. I know they wouldn't do it.
if,
Because
if you
like,
if you were the GM, if you're the GM, you're like, all right, all I want is Draymond Green. You get LeBron James.
when I take a 37-year-old LeBron right now, screw it, I'm gonna do it. The reason I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it, the reason I'm gonna do it, the reason I would do it is just because I would like to see LeBron and Steph play together and how that would work. Like I feel like they would be one of those just
And
deadly
if you
duos.
manage, and if you manage to keep Clay and Jordan Poole just balling out like that, I mean, it's just looking
Imagine having LeBron bring the ball up the court and Steph, Clay, and Jordan Poole running around,
running
just
around.
looking for them
That's tough.
and or a fuck you three. It's you're gonna
Yeah,
get any of it.
yeah. And then what you gotta do? Double LeBron?
Double Steph,
Yeah,
double Poole, double Clay. Which one?
yeah. Which one are you okay with? Because one of
I
them are
guess
gonna be open.
they just gonna leave Looney open. I imagine if they keep Looney, then Looney's just gonna be roaming around in the paint looking for the rebound.
I would get like a shooting big, like someone that can stretch the floor.
Bielitsa, they throw Bielitsa.
Yeah, via it's over. It's
No,
over. You
give
can't
him
do it.
Vucevic. Give him Nikola Vucevic.
Oh man, that'll be tough. But anyways, fellas, this was episode I didn't know what 13, 14
13.
of Light and Hunch. Is the Goes Easy Hunch show and myself, the guy that never misses Light Out Sports, and we'll see you next week for
We will.
episode. We'll figure out what episode we're in. See you. See. You.